Every great idea starts the same way. It starts with somebody being told, that'll never work. That idea is ridiculous. George Lucas heard it, Jeff Bezos heard it, Elon Musk hears it almost daily. And yet, they kept going. Not because they had proof that it would actually work, but because they had something far rarer. They had delusional self-belief. And this is the kind of belief that makes you look a bit ridiculous until all of a sudden, one day, you don't. In the 1970s, no studio wanted to touch Star Wars. Science fiction wasn't selling, space operas felt goofy, and Lucas's vision seemed a bit weird at the time. And 20th Century Fox was so skeptical that they let Lucas keep the merchandising rights to Star Wars, which ended up being worth billions in the long run. But here's what most people don't know. Even the studio production crew on set where Star Wars was filmed, they openly mocked the idea, they openly mocked the movie, and they refused to work overtime, which made the filming process more difficult for Lucas. And even some of the actors didn't believe in the script and mocked the script. Studio execs, they predicted a total flop. And through it all, Lucas kept going. Why? Because he wasn't betting on perfect conditions. He didn't have the perfect proof or the perfect pitch or even the perfect technology at the time. He just believed in the world that he was building, and he believed in it long enough for everyone else to catch up. In 1994, Jeff Bezos walked away from a high-paying Wall Street job to start an online bookstore. This may not sound as ridiculous now, but at the time, only 15% of Americans even had access to the internet. Friends told him that he was crazy. His parents thought he was nuts, even though they ended up investing anyways, because they were his parents. And they told him, we believe in you, Jeff, even though we don't understand this internet thing quite yet. And the early years were very brutal. Amazon lost money quarter after quarter. Right? The media mocked him with different headlines. He was even openly mocked on different late-night TV shows. Analysts said online shopping would never replace malls. But Bezos wasn't chasing short-term proof. He had a delusional vision that one day people wouldn't just buy books online, they'd buy everything online. So while the world was laughing, he quietly reinvested every dollar into better logistics, faster shipping, and he was obsessed with customer service. He even said in an early interview, if we keep our competitors focused on us while we stay focused on our customers, then we're gonna be just fine. And that delusion, that belief in the everything store, it pulled reality towards him. And today, that crazy bookstore idea, well, now it's just a company that's worth over $1 trillion. When Elon Musk started SpaceX, he wasn't just trying to build rockets. He wanted to make humanity multi-planetary. It sounded insane. It still kind of does, honestly. NASA had been trying this for decades with a multi-billion-dollar budget. And other big players like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, they ruled the skies, right? These aerospace companies were huge. And here was this tech entrepreneur with no aerospace background whatsoever saying, not only can I do it better, but I can do it cheaper. He poured nearly all of his PayPal fortune into SpaceX. He even had to borrow money to pay rent and live on couches for a period of time. He then watched 3 of his rockets explode. By the 4th, SpaceX was just weeks away from bankruptcy. Even his closest allies urged him to stop. The media mocked him. Industry veterans called him arrogant. Some even said SpaceX would just be a footnote in history. A billionaire's failed vanity project, some called it. But Musk refused to quit. His belief, delusional to everyone else, kept him in the game. And then the 4th rocket finally launched successfully. And when this happened, NASA came back and gave him a $1.6 billion contract. And suddenly, SpaceX was saved. That same impossible belief that has since landed reusable rockets built the backbone for private space travel. And it's turned SpaceX into a company that's now worth over $180 billion. And this is all because one person refused to accept that something couldn't be done. So here's the uncomfortable truth. In the beginning, you're almost gonna have no external evidence that you're gonna succeed. Your friends won't believe in you. Investors won't believe in you. Sometimes you won't even believe. I mean, George Lucas, going back to him, he didn't even show up to the premiere of Star Wars because he was so sure by that point that the movie would flop. So the only thing that you have is really this irrational, eternal confidence. It's a conviction that bends reality. And psychologists call this self-efficacy. And this is the belief in your ability to execute on an idea despite uncertainty. And without it, you're almost always gonna quit before you give it a chance to work. Now, if you like this type of content, go ahead and drop me a like and a comment so I can keep making these type of videos. In the comments, let me know a time that you've used delusional self-belief to your advantage. Maybe the odds were against you. Maybe you didn't believe in something at first, or people told you that it wouldn't work, but you persevered. Or maybe you know a story of an athlete or a famous musician or businessman that used delusional self-belief to succeed. But with that being said, I will see you in the next one.